Happy 420 for real this time. Going to do my daily gratitude, and I'm thankful for the sacred herb, ganja. Um, it's literally been my best friend. I've been smoking every day since I'm probably 15. A couple of months in rehab when I was 21, and then a couple months after that, and then a couple months when I was in rehab 5 years ago. But I never intended to stop smoking weed when I was in rehab at all. That was just not the cards. And it's really been demonized in my life. My family has used it to kind of blame everything. Like I quit basketball because I started smoking weed. No, I quit basketball because I was traumatized. Everything was trauma. The weed was the only thing helping me with the trauma, literally. The therapist never said trauma. My family to this day can't say trauma. Uh, my dad read The Body Keeps the Score in his book club, gave it to me. I couldn't read it without sobbing, and then he told me to get a job. So that book is also toxic to me because of the way I received it. But I love weed more than everyone else. Even my new parasocial friend Addie, who I love so much, and she brings a smile to my face every day. It's a literal my safety blanket, and I like everybody. I mean, in my coaching business, what I try to do with people is there's so much cultural shame around smoking weed that doesn't exist around that disgusting drug, alcohol. Literally a drug. Literally, you can die from withdrawing from alcohol and benzodiazepams. Those are the only two drugs. Both of those are illegal. Those are the only things you can die from withdrawing from. Opiates you may want to die, but you actually won't. Cardiac arrest, homeboys. But weed, on the other hand, there's really nothing to it other than comfort. Some people it makes anxious, so they shouldn't smoke weed. I mean, some people it doesn't work for. For me, it's everything. It allows me to function. I've struggled when I went to rehab. I mean, all these new people that follow me have no idea. Like, I mean, I was blacking out 5 to 6 times a week from alcohol. I was doing cocaine every day, taking benzodiazepams that weren't mine, Valium, Xanax every day, Percocets all the time, snorting heroin to the point I had to go to the hospital. My nasal cavity was closed. This was before fentanyl was a thing. Well, I got it first. I told the doctor, I said, my nasal cavity's been slowly closing for the last 48 hours to the point I can't breathe out of my nose. They took my oxygen levels, my blood oxygen levels were so low I had to get on a hand ventilator. And what I know now is that's what fentanyl does. I said to the doctor, I was snorting H. He said, H doesn't do that. So it was like this weird thing where like I had an argument over what had been doing this to me, where they were saying it wasn't the drug use, where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever in the world. I'm putting drugs into my nose and now I can't breathe. But anyway, I shouldn't be here in a lot of ways. Combined with my, I was 60 pounds heavier. Sleep apnea is a thing. Combining alcohol, benzos, and cocaine with being over. I mean, I am so lucky to be here. And everything that's gone on in the 5 years has gone on because weed has stayed with me and been my safety blanket. And I have eliminated shame. My point was saying, with my clients, there's just so much shame around weed, and everybody wants to regulate. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. You should do whatever gets you through the night, like John Lennon says, or the day in this case. We live in a time where the world is incredibly hard. It's changing by the minute. There are stressors. We have what's called swords of Damocles. We don't seem to understand psychologically what 100 years of mutually assured destruction and nuclear annihilation as a political policy of existence has done to our subconscious. There's global warming, there's nukes, there's a government that's completely inept, can't fucking function, and we see that. All of our institutions are crumbling. Oh man, I can't help myself. It's like I whenever I start talking, it's like doom and gloom. But like that's just the Chinese. I used to say the Chinese have a proverb, but it's actually a curse. And it's may a man live in interesting times. I mean, what we should want is boredom. When you see me on here, like look at my cats, look at them just sitting here, because if you can take pleasure in the mundane and the simple, then life is good. If you think you're only going to be happy with a Bugatti or all of this bullshit trappings of materialism that are fucking awesome. I'm not joking. If I could have a Bugatti, I'd have one. Are you joking? I'd have 10. Who gives a fuck? They're amazing. It's not to not like things. It's just to say, like, where do you place the value? Like, if you can have those things, fucking have them, bro. Like, I want them. But I don't have any desire for them. If they were placed in front of me and they said, you could have this, I would take it. It's like I'm here, like I have all these people that want to follow me, and like with women specifically, like I don't really want to follow like really good looking women that I don't have contact with, that I don't know. because it turns into objectification and just like a car or something. So it's like, it's a different relationship to consumerism and to what's being placed in front of my face. I don't know how I just started talking about this one. I was trying to talk about my love for weed, um, which I do. I love so fucking much. Like I just there's nothing that has been with me in my life. There's nothing that has not hurt me. I mean, I've been arrested, for smoking weed. There was a funny story. We were like smoking weed on the way to a party in high school, and if you know me, so we were on Port Road, like going past the movie theater, and we're ripping bongs in the car. And we go past the police department, all these cars come out, and so I'm like, oh fuck. So we like pull over, and they go streaming by, so we're like, awesome, awesome, awesome. So we just keep going to this party, ripping bongs, and it's right on the lake. It's at a house on the lake, a really nice house, and it's got this really long driveway. So we're pulling into the driveway, and oh shit, the cops are there. They were literally going to the house. So we start backing up, and then a cop pulls into the driveway, and my friend was trying to throw the bong out the window, pulls it back in. There's bong water all over the window, and then we got arrested. And like the little BPD asshole I was, the cops were like, were you smoking weed? And I didn't have any. So I'm like, yep, thinking they couldn't like give me a ticket. And I'm like, they're like, you're getting a ticket. I'm like, I don't have any. And they're like, well, hold this pen. And I was like, okay. They're like, are you possessing that pen? And I said, yeah. And then I got a possession ticket. But fuck, dude, like cops ain't shit to me, that's a great story. All my arrest stories. I mean, I spent a night in jail one time in Iowa City because like we were like coming out of in Iowa City. There's this big pedestrian mall where all the bars are, and I was at this bar, the Union, where my friends worked, and like we're walking out, and my roommates were all super old. They were like older than me, and he just got punched. So I just like started fighting, and I got taken away and arrested so fast that like my girlfriend didn't believe me, and then I had to spend the night in jail. And luckily, I was like all pilled out and drunk, so I just fell asleep. But I had to go to court in the morning, and the next in like an orange jumper. Oh man, I have like it's funny that I only talk about really depressing shit because I have like stories for fucking days.